Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of my Doctor Who 60th anniversary reviews. Today, we are going to be talking about a rather special story. This story is a conclusion for a couple things. In a couple ways, excuse me, I'm very tired. Um, this story it concluded season 4 of Doctor Who, which means other than the Highlanders, which I might do someday after I read the novelization, um, certainly before the end of the series, maybe. Uh, I've reviewed 4 entire seasons of Doctor Who, and all these seasons are rather long. If only I had this level of motivation in my computer science class, I might have kept an A. But that's not what's important right now. Anyway, this story was also meant to conclude the it was meant to be the last story for the Daleks. Period. It wasn't like meant to be, but like people when they were penning the script, they did have it in mind that there could no more be any there could it is entirely possible that no more Dalek stories could be commissioned or broadcast. So this story has a certain tone of finality to it. Oh, it was also the last Dalek story of the Black and White era. The next time we saw that was in season 9 with Day of the Daleks, which I'm hoping to get that Blu-ray set again soon once I finish the season 22 thing, which I did do an unboxing. You should check that out. Anyway, let's get into it. Before we begin, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment saying what you liked about the story, what you liked about this review, or like what you thought of these, what you thought of that story. Let's dive right in. The story itself begins right where the Faceless Ones ended. It begins with the Doctor and Jamie effectively, like they're basically chasing after the TARDIS when they discover that they're in Gatwick Airport, but it turns out the TARDIS has been stolen. It was loaded onto a truck and they just kind of drove off. So the story opens up with Jamie and the Doctor effectively like running after it. I think it's rather entertaining to watch in that section. And also keep in mind, I watched the black and white animation of the story that was on DVD. How stupid of me, I did not bring it up to show you, but that's not what's important right now. Anyway, you can just Google it or search on Amazon if you like. It's a rather good DVD. I think you should get it. Anyway, the story actually begins with time travel. They discover they have effectively been transported, later revealed to be by the Daleks. They've been effectively transported back into time into the Victorian era, where we met this man named, what's his first name? I don't know. Edward Waterfield, and someone named Theodore Maxtable. Maxtable turns out to be the main human villain. He's working for the Daleks. The first couple episodes are basically kind of set up. We reveal the Daleks in the end of episode 1. In episode 2, which is the only surviving episode in its original format, basically just helps get things running. It's like the first part of the story. If I were to do a YouTube short, I would have done these first 2 or 3 episodes, together. That's how I would split it up. Anyway, the next few episodes, or the rest of the story, actually is rather Dr. Light. I think, in my view, he doesn't show up nearly as much as he does in other stories. He's somewhat in the background doing his own thing, while Jamie is actually the real hero of this story. So, as I mentioned before, Faceless Ones is the start of Jamie's characterization. Anyway, so he actually meets Victoria, who's living the Victorian era, and she ends up being the another companion after her father dies. He's basically looking after her. She's being held hostage by the Daleks. They're doing that to influence Edward and Maxtable to work together to help, alchemy, what they're doing at the Dalek factor. Their main plan is to infuse everyone with the Dalek factor, turning them all into human Daleks. It's a really, really interesting thing, especially when you realize that Maxtable himself, he's working with alchemy to turn metal or common metals into gold. That's his main goal. You know, get like quick rich, quick wealth, quick money, yes, or get rich quick scheme. So effectively, that's what he's doing, really. He the last couple episodes of the story actually take place on Skaro, which is actually um that's the home planet of the Daleks, as I'm sure some of you diehard fans might know. It's also the first appearance of the Emperor Dalek, who gets a bit of a redesign makeover in the series one of the modern show finale, the Parting of the Ways, and the Bad Wolf. So that's such a great story, by the way. You should totally watch it. It's on HBO Max if you want, or Max, as it's called now. Anyway, I'm rambling a lot. Excuse me. That's really the main story. In the end, Max Stibble gets infused with the Dalek factor, and he turns to a Dalek. He's sticking his hands like this. He's sort of like, his eyes are wide like this. He's just talking in a start again voice. He's just talking like this. He is obeying the Daleks. The Daleks basically giving him orders. He's like, I obey. That's effectively what he's doing, really. And it's pretty interesting. Another thing that I found pretty funny is that while the Doctor is doing his own thing, three Daleks effectively pretty much walked into him, and he infused them with a human factor. So he basically made friends with these three Daleks. He gave them names by scribbling on their little chassis. He wrote Alpha, Beta, and Omega. So those are like his three Daleks, and they're saying friends in a really creepy voice. It is so funny. That's the whole story. That's all for right now. I might review Two of the Cybermen later today. The best way to do that is to the best way for you to see that is to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss one of these. I do at least one of these every day. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye now.